Now, would you tell us how, a little about your background, introduce yourself, and tell us where you went to school and how you got into this favorite, it's not really a sport, but talent.
Well, first of all, I'm Charlie Markert, and I want to say
All right, now how did you went to what art school?
in Los Angeles, I went to Otis Art School in Chenard. And after that, I went to Germany and studied in Germany. I was in the 11th Airborne Division, paratrooper, but on base in Augsburg, Germany, we had artists there that I studied with. And it was a wonderful time. And when I left Germany, went to work for Pacific Outdoor, we trained for 4 years to do these intricate billboards, which are now printed. But we would spend 2 weeks on a 14 or 24-foot portrait, so it was quite intricate. And having that training and coming to Minneapolis, working for Negley, I did many backdrops for the theater, ballet companies. And this is what really brought me into painting the hot air balloons. The first project I did was for Matt Whitaker Golden Grames, and that was a wonderful project. He came into the Negley Outdoor and asked for an artist who could do a backdrop, and that just fitted my needs perfectly, and I just fell in love with it. And when I did the first one, I thought, oh my God, this is just wonderful with the hot air balloons. They're so beautiful. They remind me of parachutes, and I decided I'd start and call it Sky High Art. And that's really how it all started. One project led to another.
And so when in the first one, was it
Graves was a material. And in the new studio I built, the studio I had at the warehouse, the Red Barons, it's a St. Paul Balloon Club. And they had worked for a company called Architectural Alliance. Well, what they did, they built me a movable easel out of steel that was 20 foot tall by 30 foot long.
Wow.
And in return for them building it, I painted their Red Baron balloon. So that was just absolutely a wonderful, it benefited them and it benefited me. And they were such a wonderful balloon club here
now
in St. Paul.
the thing that I think is amazing is that when you paint, you only see what's on the easel, and then you paint that much, and then you move it over, and you don't see the other part. And how on earth can you get that vision of a continuous picture when you can only see 30 feet of it?
Well, I would make a model of it. We had Frida Oberg used to make these 4-foot models, and I would sketch on the model, basically. If we have one, I could show you. Yeah, this is actually drawing out on the fabric, drawing it. And this, can you see that up close? I think there's a model in the background.
Here's him.
Okay.
And you're?
Hi, I'm Tim Markert, Charlie's son. I'm not an artist or anything, but I would help Dad in the production sometimes of the balloons. There's a lot of moving the fabric around.
Yeah, but you're a balloon pilot. Aren't you the one that's a balloon pilot, or was?
Yes, I'm a balloon pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in the video of the inflating the carousel.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you ever fly one of your dad's
Oh, sure.
masterpieces?
I've flown quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Mainly the carousel. A few of them on their maiden voyages before they were brought to the specific owners.
And I could trust him not to burn the balloon. On opening night.
I always wondered if, like once he started with the material and sent it to the balloon manufacturer, and then it came back to you to okay it, and then you sent it to people, or they were there, or what? What was the steps in that?
Completed, either the client or we would just send it back and they'd come out and view the balloon.
No.
And
Yeah, a lot of times after the balloon was painted, we would inflate the balloon.
this is a model that I would use to design the balloon. And other models, we would just sketch it out. And this particular one was for Harold Biederman, called the Voyager balloon. And that flew in Germany. And it was just marvelous. If you see that, you see Saturn. The biggest problem I had, or fear I had, was that the Saturn, you can only see a portion of it on the easel. It's 60 feet around. So by taking my charcoal stick and going about the course, hoping that it would work out, and by gosh, when we inflated it, the rings of Saturn were just perfect. So,
Did you have your fingers crossed?
yes, I did. I have my fingers crossed. I sure did. But
That's what I was asking him. I don't know how you can paint this and then move it and then just make it work. I mean, his perspective must have been just spot on everything.
Yeah, you have to have it in your mind, and it's always that way, on your mind.
Did you lose a few hours of sleep thinking, oh, I hope that works?
At times, yes.
Now, here's one, I found this, that you said you did some sketches, so.
This is a rough sketch for the Baroque balloon. We have another photo, and there's another sketch in that group there. I think it's under,
I saw this one. This is pretty good.
if that is Takuska. Yeah,
This
just
one.
like that. And here is a sketch of the Baroque balloon. My son Paul had taken photographs of my son-in-law, my daughters, my youngest child, and that we used for the design of the balloon. And that flew in Germany. And Timothy now has that balloon.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Well, see, there it is. And so there's the
And
full
here's the
one.
finished product.
Is it still in good shape?
It's in great shape.
Yeah.
The detail in that, I kept looking at. To me, it looked like Midsummer's Night Dream.
Exactly,
Talking
yeah.
the whole thing, and how he can do it with spray paint and all that fine tuning. I was just in awe. I've been in awe of your father's work ever since I found it, and it's just. I thought I got to meet this man.
Thank
It's
you.
just amazing.
Well, it is the love of ballooning. I mean, everyone involved in ballooning is just ladies and gentlemen. You won't find any group with more integrity than the balloon manufacturers and the pilots. In doing the planets, the Voyager, I listened to Gustav Holst, Opus 32. You remember that? You've heard that before? I played that the whole time I worked on
Why did you pick that one?
it because it was about the planets.
Uh,
Mercury. Just
Just
inspiring.
inspiring.
Yeah, statement.
Did you-
Then when I
did you
painted
always-
the US West,
yeah.
I listened to Western music.
So what kind of music did you use when you did this Baroque one?
That was the Gustav Holst.
Oh, that one. I thought
No, that was.
You said
I'm
that was
sorry,
the planet
yeah,
one.
that was Beethoven. And
Oh,
funny story was when we were taking down the US West
yeah.
balloon. I think we have another picture of it in total. You can see these little children down here, friends of ours. The scale of the horses compared to the
Okay.
Kalamazoo balloon.
And here's what it's the whole thing is. So you can see this. Then this is parted. Now this is on the easel. I think this is amazing. And you can see this much, and then he moves it, and then they matches everything else up.
And there's my youngest son, at that time feeding the gorilla.
He's got a banana in there, and he's feeding the gorilla.
All right, let me
I
say
think
this,
that
then
is
I'll
so
stop
cute.
Visit
Yeah.
with Matt. And if you could see this little head here, I don't know if you can zoom in.
Sure, let me see if I
That's
can.
me with the
And
Kalamazoo.
That shows you the perspective of how large this thing is. Oh, just
That
it's
is
just
amazing. Yeah.
I just got back from Africa, and so I was really going, and it's just like you're standing.
Some of the rough sketches for that,
Oh my.
we would show to John and Judy Dirks. Of course, they would go to Africa every year, and having the Kalamazoo balloon represent them was just perfect for them. So these are really just roughs, but just to give you an idea of how it worked.
Now, this being called the Kalamazoo balloon, is it in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yes, they're from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the commercial balloon pilot that's has balloon rides now. They have it, bought it from Tom and Judy, and they give special balloon rides with it. And they said they're really taking care of it. So that's a real plus for me. You worry about them.
oh, sure.
Well, working with backdrops, you always have to stand back. And let's see, I don't know if I can demonstrate it here. You had to be back at least 5 feet, so your vision, you could see it in a larger scale. And so I'd be on the lift, and I'd have to lift about 5 feet away from the fabric. And so I was able to sketch it and get an idea. Because if you're up here and you're using the spray gun and you're spraying it, nothing lays flat, it's all curves. You have to pull it out. But in order to get a basic idea, you need to step back so you don't get tunnel vision. And that was the way to produce it like that. It was a marvelous way to do it.
And this is where you looked.
Yes, yes, here's a, it shows with the, it's an old Hornell fishing pole. It's actually 50 years old. I used it in California when we went deep sea fishing, but it was light and it worked out just wonderful. There's the lift. And if you can see here,
You've got a
I
magnifying
had a
glass.
magnifying glass and transparencies. If we had photographs, we would transfer them into transparencies so you could actually see the color and use the magnifying glass to see the details. And here is a picture of the yellow barn where when I left the warehouse and I moved to Chanhassen, we bought 6 acres there and refurbished the barn to be able to put the a new easel in there. The Red Barons had built the easel, and then we transferred part of it over to the barn, and that just worked out wonderful there. We had 6 acres there. It was open field, so it was very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. We could inflate there right after we finished the balloon. And thank God I had all the support of pilots that would not, I wouldn't have to worry about someone burning the balloon. Steve Sinnon, Ed Chapman, Don Picard, my son Timmy, would really be like opening night. It was wonderful to have them help in that manner. I want to say, Matt, thank you for introducing me to ballooning.
To getting you off the side road billboards.
Yes, no, those billboards were absolutely marvelous. The kind of artwork we did on them led me to do such a beautiful job on your balloon. Okay, that Golden Grains, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We've had our differences, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
You gave me an opportunity to start the Sky High art. I appreciate that.
Well,
Thank you,
it's
Matt.
work-
You're a pioneer in ballooning. You
Yeah.
always have been.
I was 6'4" when I started.
I believe it.
Now he's 5'2".
So I wanted everyone to
Yeah.
know that I appreciate what Matt did.
Well, introduce yourself. So who are you?
Matt Whitaker, from Whitaker, there balloons down on the St. Croix River, so in Lakeland.
Been there for 50 years.
Yeah, or better.
Yeah, marvelous.
Time went by. But Bobby was my
Oh,
wife.
Bobby was she ran everything. She was great.
She still does, and now she babysits me. And
So did he do any of your other ones besides Golden Grahams? Didn't he do Frosted or Tony the Tiger? Was that part of you?
No,
You didn't do that?
No,
no,
Okay.
that was Dennis Floden.
Floater,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
for Leo Burnett agency that had that contract. But we did a couple. We did Soft Soap, which was a local Minnetonka balloon.
yeah,
And then Simmons Beauty Rest. That's why I say when I started with the oil paint, we used dryer on it, and that would adhere to it, but over the long life of the time of the balloon, it did not last like the dyes that I was able to finally come up with.
yeah.
And the dyes worked on the Montgolfier balloon. That's the first time I used the dyes. And Dr. McCarty's Phoenix balloon.
Yeah.
There's a picture of Dr. McCarty's Phoenix balloon.
Anyway, talk some more about
Yeah, well, the Phoenix
inks while I'm
balloon was
looking.
special. That was for Dr. McCarty
Oh,
in
here.
upstate New York.
That one?
Yeah, and when I did this, I did it in memory of my son Kurt, who passed away over in Greece when he was on holiday at school. And the phoenix rising from the ashes, this was really heartfelt. And to do that for Dr. McCarty, it came at the right time when I needed that moral support. And that was the first one using the dyes. And it's still flying today. I got a report there on Facebook. The gentleman sent me a photograph of it. So this was really meaningful to us.
Well, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it still, and where is it still located?
In upstate New York.
It is. Well,
Yeah,
good.
these people are marvelous.
And so, how did you end up? Some of these are. I mean, your talent spreads from the Jesus one and getting all that detailed to Nefertiti and King Tut to the lot. I mean, you can paint anything. Is there anything you really had to work on that didn't just flow, or is it just
No.
you're so talented that you could handle any project?
We were trained when we were younger, as I said, when we first started with the billboards. It's not the guy in the dirty clothes painting a billboard, quick, fast, like in a day. When we were trained, you learned to paint a portrait, 15, 20 foot tall. And that took a week to do. So in your training, if you could paint a real portrait, then you could paint anything. It's just a matter of concentration. You were able to have the skill and the training to produce that. So then you were able to paint anything, a beer can, a portrait of Christ, horses, anything. But it was what got me really going when I do a project is that the client would be so enthused, his enthusiasm would carry over to you, and you, myself painting, I would become part of the balloon, part of the fabric. That might seem absurd to you, but I would literally become part of the fabric. For that length of time to be able to concentrate on it. And you were after the main objective to finish it and have it, the client pleased with it.
Now, some of these, I mean, you've got like two pictures on this one, and then that Baroque one, the whole thing is covered. When you did your price, do it by balloon, by picture, by amount of work? How did you price yourself?
Well, it's difficult to say that because price really didn't come into it. It was the enthusiasm for the project. And I was, how would you say it, a socialist? You know, you'd price according to the project, but it wasn't the monetary aspect of it. It was the project itself that you would be enthused about. So we never had a price range, never, ever. It was done by the project and the person you involved. Because the pilots would trust you. They've just purchased an envelope maybe that's $18,000. And here they are giving it to an artist to paint it. I mean, they trusted me that they would not fall out of the sky, you know, because that had happened years before. And so it was a mutual understanding and respect and trust and enjoy. And each of the projects, I'll tell you, I just loved them because everyone had a different point of view. And this just fit my psyche perfect. We had Harvey Hubble with the airship, Ben Franklin on it. Gosh, that was great. Then we had Biederman with the Voyager balloon. You know, that was marvelous. And then the Phoenix balloon. And then Chauncey Dunn with the US West. You know, so each of those projects.
I can't pronounce this gentleman's name, so.
Thaddeus Jakuska, Polish-American Revolutionary
This is
Hero.
Thaddeus right here. I've been trying to place him, but that's beyond me.
Polish-American Revolutionary. He helped George Washington during our revolution.
And
Polish.
then this is, can you tell what that's going on?
Well, this was what I was going to demonstrate, a rough sketch on the fabric.
Okay.
That's all this was brought for.
That's fine. And then let's hold you up, your coloring book.
And Sue produced these. They're a marvelous coloring book. It's got all the artwork, balloons, and she did a lot of detailed sketches.
Oh, wow.
It's just, you hadn't seen that, man?
No.
It's just great. She just did a fantastic job. And these were brought to, when we had the Oldsmobile Balloon Classic in Danville, Illinois.
Okay. Now, you showed us how we did the fishing pole. Let's show some of this, and I want you to talk more about the paint and blending. You were talking about like watercolor and
Yeah.
things such as that, because your touch is unbelievable.
This is the type of spray guns I used. These were small for detail and smaller ones. And this is for larger areas. I would have about 10 or 12 of these in a row with colors marked on them. I'd have a yellow, a red, and change them so I would know the colors that I would pick up inside it so I could get to it easily. And this is larger. They're all low pressure spray guns. So almost like 30 pounds pressure. So you wouldn't have any overspray like as if you were painting a car or you're painting a house. That gave me control on it. And I used the dyes, as I said, and then using the dyes, thinning them out, and putting it on slowly with the gun like that was like painting watercolors. You would put the lighter color on first, and then a darker one. If you wanted it orange, you could put a yellow and put a tinge of red on it and lay over that. So it was almost like watercolor painting. And it took me a while to get it down.
I was going to say how much practicing because you would practice on this kind of thing before you get to the balloon thing.
I would take a piece of fabric, correct, and then see if I had the colors that I wanted and spray on them, yes. Because once you put it on the balloon fabric,
It's there.
it was there. There was no way you could take it off.
It was not going anywhere.
No.
So, and then I asked, they said that you liked the carousel the best, and then they said that you bought it back? from
Yes, we got
whoever
it
the
back
owner-
from Chauncey. He wanted another project, so we got it back from Chauncey, made
So
a trade of
do you
some
still
sort.
have it?
Yes, Timmy flies that. Timmy
Oh, so
has it.
you just get all the good ones, huh?
Well,
You were real quiet on that one.
well, there's a couple I would love to have, but, and
So would you consider, they said, I was listening in the video and they said that that was your favorite. And did you have, I mean, they're so vast, they're so different. I mean, from one, I mean, this pops, I can't imagine this coming over the hill.
oh, that
And
was,
that would
Dr.
be-
Nagel was an Egyptian thologist.
Oh, that
He
would
go
be
to
like
Egypt
amazing.
and study the pyramids and so forth. That was a fun project.
And so which one was your last one? What
Oh.
did you,
I tell you, my memory's gone a bit. I don't know whether it was the Baroque balloon or we had banners in between. So I tell you the truth, I can't remember what was
I think it was the Amadeus.
Amadeus. Thank you, Timmy. That's my son, Tim.
Yeah. So you had, and did you play music with each one?
Yes, I played some of the Western songs for the U.S. West.
What kind of music did you play for this one?
Oh, really?
We Walk Like an Egyptian or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, probably. And Gustav Holst, The Planets, when you had that
Uh-huh.
one there. Oh, man,
Yeah, that's,
The Planets. What Voyager 2 did on the outer planets.
Yeah.
You know, he was just amazed with
That's
that.
amazing. And now, as far as, what's your next thing you're planning on doing? Are you staying with painting, that's okay, he's got it. On like, I saw some of your restaurant painting. Do you have another project in the works?
No, I'm just kind of taking it easy. I'll have fun with the computer, just doing some sketching, that kind of a thing.
So,
But in the last several months, I put videos together of our family from the 1950s on with all my 9 children. And that took last year months. And then this project here, Becky, I tell you,
you're getting
without
good at
you
the
asking
computer.
me to put this together, I never ever would have done this
Well,
if it hadn't been for you.
this is fabulous. I mean, this is,
Excuse me, man.
you have so much to be proud of, and you are the one and only.
And here is a good scene. In the back of the easel, we had an area there with an open window out looking on the open field. And there's a picture of me with the U.S. West material that the agency gave us and with a sketch on there. And they wanted about 18 cowboys on the balloon. And I tried to convince them that that would not work. You needed several cowboys about 40 foot tall. So what we did, we made a model of the balloon and I made cutouts of the cowboys and pasted them on there so they could get a concept of what we were talking about. And they finally agreed, because if you had all these cowboys on a balloon, you never ever would have seen them. It would have just been too many.
What happened to all your curly hair?
I know, isn't that something? I tell you, when I look at that now, oh my God, Charlie, you're getting up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, we inducted Chauncey Dunn into the Hall of Fame last year, and
Oh,
we had
yes,
your pictures there, and that's when I started
Oh.
finding out about you. And then they had one that I said, well, did Charlie do this? And it was something about heaven, and it had wings and all this stuff. And they said, well, the kids all asked, and they said, we can't see that he did. And then I saw in some of your work that somebody else did that. But they have pictures, and they said I could keep their pictures while I can put it with your display with some of the stuff
Oh,
that you did
nice.
for him. And every time, he said he had like 5 of your pictures, and somebody'd say, "Oh, I really like that," and he'd say, "Okay, I'll sell it to you, and I'll get another
Oh,
one."
God.
He went through them like mad.
Up with it. And the end result was good, so that
Yeah.
was important. Oh, Jason.
Yeah. He just loved your pictures. So
Well, I tell you,
anyway.
I am so honored that you have asked me here to
So-
do that, because pioneers like Matt and that.
And
they-
you were a
they
pioneer
did the-
too. That's
Well,
what I do
without
is,
them, I could not have existed. I
Well-
could not have existed.
that's what this is the whole process. I'm trying to save pioneer history in ballooning because you guys, needless to say, are getting up in age and
Oh,
and
yeah.
these young guys, they don't have the history or the background that you have.
You know, and it's different. It's a generation that's passed.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
You know, it was
Yeah.
the different people that wanted the artwork, you know, and it's just not
So
there. And the younger ones are looking at these gigantic baskets. God bless them. I mean, to me, they're like Greyhound buses. Where when we started there, Matt started, you had a basket, or Denise and Donna would take a basket for one person or 2 people, fly and create all these records, you know, and fly, and to do it. And now to see but I have to say, I like the 3-dimensional artwork balloons.
no, yeah.
They're just
Special shapes.
yeah, special shapes, but it's different. You know?
Yeah. So how are you? How do you mind if I ask how old you are now?
79.
So you started in 1979, and you've been
Yes.
painting clear up until now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite a span of
Yeah, but
years.
the balloons were about 20 years in there,
Yeah.
18
And
years.
how old are you, Matt?
I'm 86.
86.
Yeah.
Then you've been in ballooning just quite a few years too.
I was
When
six-
did you start? In the 60s, right?
I was 6'4", remember?
Dad, you're 78.
You're 78. Your daughter's 70.
November, I'll be 79. I'm gonna round it up. I don't wanna hear 78. I mean, I'm looking at 80, let's face it.
Yeah, step back.
Yeah, my God.
So, is there anything that I haven't thought about asking that you think is pertinent to you? Was there anything that somebody said, can you paint
Did we
this? And
talk-
you said, no, I don't want to deal with that.
There were a couple. I can't remember, but I definitely did not want to do their project because it just didn't seem correct. Did I talk about Corinne Bush's, the butterfly balloon?
No, you mentioned it, but that was all.
A couple of anecdotes. When we were in upstate New York and I had finished Corinne Bush's Papillon balloon, butterfly balloon, we went up to upstate New York. Brian Boland was teaching her to fly. And here we are lifting off. We went about a mile and it started light snowflakes. And I said, Brian, my God, what are we gonna do? No problem, he was so calm. We went about 2 more miles, landed, and I said, where's the chase vehicle? Brian said, oh, I'll go get it. And so he jogged off to get his chase vehicle and come back. And it was just a marvelous experience. Corinne Bush just loved it. She passed away a few years ago, and then Carrie Kelly in upstate New York bought the balloon. The first time she flew it, monarch butterflies came around the balloon.
Oh, wow.
It was absolutely marvelous. And she said that really gave her goosebumps. It was like Corinne's spirit was with them. And that was a wonderful
That's cool.
thing to say. Just marvelous.
Well, you've had quite a life, and you're a very
I've had-
talented
I've
person,
had-
and I'm very glad to get to meet you finally.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. Well, you can't do it without support.
That's
I
right.
had tremendous support. I'd be in there for hours painting, but the support group I had was just marvelous. This is Susan McAllister, She and I were married for a while we did artwork on the hot air balloon. But she was instrumental in the detail work, did just a marvelous job on the artwork. And we'll show some of her artwork. One of these was the Baroque balloon. And with this, we had our children pose. This is my son-in-law, Sean. This is my daughter, Laureen. And the cherubs are our son, Christopher. And so Paul Markert, my son, the photographer,
Does he have
took
wings?
pictures.
I want to know. Let's see
We
this.
put 'em on. Sudi, would you say a few things here
Well,
about that balloon?
when we were getting ready to do the Amadeus balloon, it was a massive task, you know, and it took a year to do that balloon, I believe.
Really?
Do you want to tell
Well, it
about
had so
Harold
much-
Biederman asking?
Oh, yes.
It had so much detail. It just blew me away. Oh, yeah.
Harold Biederman is the person that ordered that balloon, and he had a bad temper on him.
Oh.
He was a type A personality, and so he
About
wanted.
6'2",
Right.
big German.
Yeah,
Really
he
a
wanted
wonderful
everything when he said it was gonna be ready. And so he asked Charlie, how long do you think that balloon is gonna take? And Charlie said probably about 3 or 4 months, and I said to myself, I kind of said out loud, I said, no, it's gonna take a year. It's gonna take a year. And it did take a year. It took 1 year. And so yeah, it was a lot of, you know, like our son Christopher right here, he's posing on this pillar, if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
That was really a tree in the yard, a big huge tree that I had him, he was nude, you
Oh,
know,
really?
hugging this tree. And I told him that I would buy him something after he did it, if he would do what I said. And so then I was gonna get ready to buy him a candy bar, and he said no, he wanted one of those little remote controls that you drive those cars. And I
He was
said,
going for gold.
yeah, it's like, no, I didn't have that in mind, I didn't have that in mind.
That's the same Chris that's feeding the monkey, the gorilla,
Oh,
in that other picture.
yeah.
So we all helped.
And did you have to talk hard and heavy to get him into these sheets? I'm just impressed that you got everything going.
We had such support.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to help. I mean, people kind of knew that, you know, it was a massive job and that they had to do whatever. If they could do what we needed, that would be good. So when I took the photograph of Christopher, I had different poses of Christopher on the table in the nude with a little cloth and whatever. I was afraid to take the photographs that I had on my camera to a place that developed them because they would,
They wouldn't understand.
they would get the-
thought it was, yeah.
yeah, they would have gotten the
Porno,
wrong.
yes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I told the guys that I have, you know, nude pictures on here. Are you willing to develop them and not have a problem with that? And he said that he was, so that's good. So that's how I was able to get, you know, all the photographs developed. But there was a lot of photographs for, you know, just the little pieces, different roses, you know, like just so much detail that went in there. And then the pillars, you know, pictures of pillars. And it was just, you know, it was like amazing. And he was in the barn for about a year. I'm not making that up.
Oh, I don't think it was that long.
Is that and you just worked on that one, you only worked on one at a
Oh,
time?
yeah, one
so-
project at a time. You could not carry two. There was only one time I carried two when I was over in the warehouse and I was painting the Red Baron's balloon after they built the studio easel. There was Chauncey Dunn's first balloon, not the big carousel, but they called it Big Top.
Yeah.
And I had done that. And that was the only time. After that, never again. One project at a time.
Tell us about your, he's been bragging about your
Oh,
coloring.
I need to finish about
Oh, okay.
Harold Biederman. I need
Okay.
to finish about
All
Harold Biederman. In a minute, I'll do this. But yes, Charlie said that it would be done in about 3 or 4 months. And so then I just said no, about a year, I think. And so anyway, then Biederman calls like about on the day of the 4th month.
Yeah.
You know, where's my balloon? I want my balloon delivered. And I would get migraine headaches when I would talk to him because he was so demanding. And I would see glistening stars, you know what I mean? And I just said, I'm sorry, Harold, but it's not ready yet. No, I want it now, and I want you to send it. I said, Harold, I'm sorry, but it's going to be at least 3/4 white. the balloon will be 3/4 white because there's no artwork on the rest of the balloon yet. And, he finally
Yeah.
calmed down, but yeah, he was,
Did you invite him out to see what was?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he came
So
out.
he came so he could kind of visualize that?
Oh, yeah.
And so what was his comment when he finally got to see the whole thing?
Oh, I don't, like, I know he was amazed by it and he loved it, But, yeah, I wasn't there when he received the balloon because that was in California.
No.
Yeah.
Because I saw it and I went, holy cow, look at the detail. I don't know how they can, especially when I saw he was spray painting and I was
Right.
like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, his
Yeah.
fishing pole that he would use, he would have to stand so far back, you know what I mean, to get the perspective and so on.
Yeah.
And when you look at a balloon close up, an artwork balloon, it's blended and it doesn't look like
Looks
anything.
abstract.
It looks abstract, right, it looks
Yeah.
abstract. So this coloring book, for that, display of the art, Danville display of the art in the sky.
And Sue was instrumental in putting that show together. Talked to,
The ones
Big
where they had the
opera.
14 balloons?
yeah,
That one?
yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah,
So this, was something that we wanted to do for years. And so, I decided that we could definitely use this at that Art in the Sky exhibit, okay, in Danville.
yeah.
And so I put this book together from concept to finish art, ready to go to the printer in 2 weeks,
I've
which
looked
is
at it. It's
unbelievable. I can't
beautiful.
believe I did this that fast,
Show
but
them a few pages.
yeah, there's like the carousel balloon here. And then, the Kalamazoo balloon took up the middle page, you know.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then, let's see, what else here?
Now, we
You know,
have a children's, oh, that's great. We have a children's area that, if it's all right with you, I'd like to make some black line masters
Oh, yeah.
and put them in there for them to
Right.
color.
Okay, here's the Amadeus balloon right here.
Oh, yeah, there, that's the one we were talking about,
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Oh, yes.
And then, different filler pages that I had to come up with some idea to do something. Here is the, what was the name of it?
The Voyager balloon.
Yeah, the
Oh.
Voyager.
Tell them about the Voyager going to Kazakhstan. Might be a good antidote.
Didn't the Russians take
Yeah,
possession
yeah.
of it? They took possession of it.
Really? When it was
And-
flying?
Fell
or when it
from
was coming
Harold
through?
had to drive it back to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, they took over, the KGB took that
Really?
balloon over, and so I don't know how he got it back or if he ever got it back. But yeah, I mean, there was something going on there that I'm not sure about. For
Had
some
to do
reason,
with oil.
it was, they were into oil,
Oh,
the
But-
oil.
Did we talk about taking the Voyager up the Weser River
no.
in Germany?
No, you said it went to Germany, but that's all you said.
Harold flew me over to Germany and we went on a tour up the Weser River. That was the area where the Brothers Grimm wrote their stories. And we stopped at each town. We'd take not a steamship, but the small
You can
tour
put it
boat.
down.
And stop at each town and inflate the balloon and show it to the people. And that was to
Did you,
advertise it.
did
the,
you,
area.
Did you fly it or
Yes,
just?
we flew it. Promote that area is what it was for, the Weser River.
Oh, it's a crookedy
And that
river.
was just fun.
Yeah.
I want to thank Becky and Gil for coming out. And I want to say that it was wonderful to express my art to pilots and balloon manufacturers whose integrity and love of ballooning is impeccable. Thank you, Charlie Markert. Thank you. I want to say
You're welcome.
greatly appreciated that